We went out to the streets to ask people whether or not they thought Atlanta was a safe city. Do you think Atlanta is a safe place or not a safe place?
It's a safe place. It's a city, so you have to have caution if you're like walking alone or at night or something like that. Just anything that you would in any other city as well too. But
Yeah.
I find it very safe. I live downtown, so and walk around everywhere.
Oh yeah, I think it's safe.
Really, it's funny about Atlanta. It kind of really just depends on what part, if you're in the city or what parts of outside. Mapleton's very safe, but like you can go down like 15 minutes down the road and it gets a little more iffy.
Do you think it's a safe area or not a safe area?
Absolutely safe.
I probably wouldn't spend as much time in Atlanta as I would have 40 years ago.
It seems like a lot of people who live in Atlanta are from somewhere else.
Yep.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Do you think Atlanta is like a safe place to live or not really?
It's safer than Chicago.
I noticed like since being here
Yeah.
in a little time, I noticed especially by Old Fourth Ward, it has changed a whole lot. And I noticed that they're doing like a little bit. It seems like they're gentrifying the area.
I go to the gym over there in West Cobb. I go to Crunch, and I mean, it's a nice gym.
We also asked many people about gun control. When it comes to gun control, you think we need more gun control or less gun control?
I would like more gun control.
I feel like more for sure.
Definitely more. We don't really have much at all in America.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely much needed.
When it comes to gun control, do you think we need more gun control or less gun control?
I think we're at a happy medium. It ought to be left where it is.
One thing that was very interesting was the different answers that we got in the suburbs of Atlanta versus the city of Atlanta. Do you think Marietta is a safe place or not a safe place?
I think it's a safe place. Yeah,
Do you feel like Marietta is like a safe area or not so much?
Yeah, I think Marietta is a few different sections, right? You've got, kind of the kind of like the rich section, and then you've got the not rich section. And people don't really realize that because when you live around like the square area, you kind of get spoiled. You don't realize what like Marietta, in terms of like the city actually is. I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. In this area, crazy safe. But there are areas it's like you cross one street and it's like, ah.
Midtown's probably a little safer than downtown. Downtown's got more like sort of transients and like a little bit more of a late night party scene or something like that.
We recently put out a survey asking viewers of this channel what the #1 factor was when determining their new place to live, and the overwhelming majority of people said that safety was the most important. So here's a list of the top 5 safest neighborhoods in all of Atlanta, according to a website called uhomes.com, which we've referenced in the video description. #1 is North Buckhead, which is like the most northern part of the Atlanta area. If you go any farther north than North Buckhead, it kind of becomes a little bit more less densely populated, still within the city of Atlanta, but North Buckhead is kind of like, I would say, the limits of the super urban, dense part of Atlanta. And this is absolutely a very safe area, right off of Highway 400, which provides easy access to all of the major roads in Atlanta. And then also, one of the things that North Buckhead is known for is Lenox Mall. It's also a very beautiful area as well. And so definitely a great place to live in Atlanta. #2 on the list is Cabbagetown, and this neighborhood is a bit south of North Buckhead, and it's just north of I-20. So it's actually very close to the intersection of I-20 and 7585, and is absolutely a great place to live. And then moving north a bit, Virginia Highlands is #3 on the list of safest neighborhoods. This is very close to like Piedmont Park, also very close to the interstate, but Virginia Highlands is a bit less densely populated as well. And so this is absolutely a very safe neighborhood. #4 on the list is Candler Park, and Candler Park is a bit east of Virginia Highlands. It's actually the farthest east neighborhood on this list of 5 neighborhoods, and also a great area to live, super popular, walking distance to a lot of things. So definitely a big draw for people who live in Candler Park. And then #5 on the list of the safest neighborhoods, according to uhomes.com, is Ben Hill Forest. Ben Hill Forest is super west Atlanta, kind of like southwest Atlanta, just south of I-20. And so also a great area to live. If you're not necessarily wanting to live in the city of Atlanta, but you're looking for a safe suburb of Atlanta, here are the top 5 safest suburbs of Atlanta according to niche.com. Number 1 is Johns Creek, which is in Fulton County. Atlanta is also in Fulton County, but Johns Creek is one of the suburbs of Atlanta, super north of Atlanta off of like Highway 400. Very popular place to live, great school districts there. And then number 2 on the list is Alpharetta, and Alpharetta is definitely well known by many people who watch the channel here. We talk about Alpharetta a lot. It's absolutely one of the best suburbs, not only the safest, but it's arguably the best suburb in all of Metro Atlanta. Also off of Highway 400, also part of Fulton County. Alpharetta and Johns Creek are actually very close to each other, and Johns Creek used to be part of Alpharetta until Johns Creek separated and became like its own city. I guess in the early 2000s, I believe they became their own city. So those two cities are actually very similar. Number 3 on the list is Milton, and Milton is just north of Alpharetta and Johns Creek, also a very safe suburb. Keep in mind, Milton is significantly more rural than some of these other suburbs like Johns Creek. Alpharetta are super suburban. You know, you live in a neighborhood and you drive to the grocery store, and that grocery store is probably 5-10 minutes tops. Milton is a bit more rural. You might be looking at 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, depending on where you are in Milton to get to a grocery store. But realistically, it's probably closer to 10 to 15 minutes. So Milton is a great area, very safe, very up and coming, but it's definitely a bit farther north. Number 4 on the list is Roswell, and Roswell is just south of Alpharetta, also off of Highway 400. They have a great downtown area, lots of great shops and restaurants there in downtown Roswell, and absolutely one of the safest suburbs in all of Metro Atlanta. And number 5 on the list is Suwanee, and Suwanee is in Gwinnett County. Suwanee would be like in the east part of Metro Atlanta, the northeast part actually, and great schools there as well in Suwanee. Suwanee is kind of a smaller city, but they have a great downtown area there as well. Very family friendly, very safe area as well. If you liked this kind of video where we interviewed people and interviewed locals in Atlanta, we actually made a video very similar to this, and we asked people whether they thought Atlanta was more conservative or more progressive. And so we asked about like the politics of Atlanta, and we got some really super interesting answers. You can actually check out that video right here. I'll see you in the next one.